Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, my name is Raven and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking about the tribute mode. I got to play this thing on the PTS and I'm going to let you guys know what I think about it and whether I think people are going to end up playing this thing when it actually launches. Now when it comes to my first impressions of the mode, it was fun to begin with, but it got boring pretty damn quick, I will have to admit that. And of course when I jumped on the PTS I knew this was going to happen. It was going to take ages to find matches, but I did manage to find a couple games against other people. The rest were versing bots just so I get a feel of the actual mode. But like I said, that was going to be expected because, you know, it's only testing for the PC and there's jack all people on the PC playing the game, let alone testing the thing. Now, before I get into the reasons why I think this mode was pretty damn boring after only about 6 games or so, I want to talk about some heroes. Now, I played the Peacekeeper and the Shinobi, and yes, they are fucked in this mode. Their speed is definitely a factor in this mode because you can get to the flags faster, you can hunt people down like there's no tomorrow. Especially on Shinobi, I was literally at the back of the map near one of our shrines. I saw some guy pick up a flag ages away. I managed to Shinobi run after him. I caught him before he even got back to his base. And then of course, as soon as I caught him, I smacked him once, he dropped the flag. I then, you know, Shinobi bullshitted him to death, and then I picked up the flag and fucked off with it and no one could stop me. It was pretty much the same deal with the Peacekeeper as well. And this is because, like I said in my previous videos about the tribute mode, yes, when you pick up a flag as say a fast character, you are slowed and people can catch you. But if you are anyone else and you pick up a flag, you're already slower and you get slowed a significant amount more than say a Shinobi and a Peacekeeper. I tried to play Shigoki, I ran up to test it to pick up a flag, and it was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. It was literally like walking around in mud. So the Shinobi and Peacekeeper and Orochi and stuff, those characters having a higher base movement speed certainly is a massive factor in this game mode. So if you are playing a heavy class like say the Warlord, Shigoki, anyone like that, do not touch flags, okay? Don't even bother with it, just defend the shrines, because that is one thing I found that they are extremely strong at, okay? Stopping people from getting the flags from your shrines. And this is also good for strategy, okay? Especially when you get all 3 flags. As soon as you get all 3 flags and you put just one person on each shrine and then you have one person running between to help out, it becomes near impossible for the enemy to do anything and to get those flags back, because the way the maps are set out, especially the Viking village and stuff, 2 of the shrines are next to each other or relatively close, and then one shrine is usually off to the side. So if you have one person on every shrine and then, you know, 2 people are going to be close to each other and then you just have one person ferrying between them, it makes it extremely hard to steal flags from people, especially once you've got a flag already in there and everyone's defending. So the heavies are good for defending flags, okay? And of course the assassins are good for going out, getting the flags and hunting down the other people as they try and plant their flags in the base. But now we get into the flaws of this mode, okay? And there are quite a few. And it sort of lends to why the mode is pretty damn boring, especially after a while, and why I think no one's going to be playing this after about a week or two. And that is because the map has some fair amounts of RNG to it. There were certain times where I was playing and, you know, we had all 3 flags and then I was in the middle of defending a shrine, and before I know it, the game just ended because we had all 3 flags for long enough and the game just ended. The whole thing went for about 1.5 minutes because we just ran up, we beat them off, got the flags, got them back to our shrines, and then it was just over. And people in the chat were saying, they're like, wow, that was really goddamn quick. It literally, I'm not even exaggerating, it lasted like a couple of minutes tops. But then I played another match and it went for goddamn ages, because every time we get our flags back, they'd get their flags, and it went to the point to where the timer literally ran out and we end up having more flags than them. I think we had 2, they had 1, so we won the thing. But it did go for ages compared to the other match. And it was like that for every single game I played, even against the bots, okay? It would literally, it's stomp or be stomp most of the time. The games go quick, they go, you know, really long depending on what happens. The timing for the mode was all over the place, and for me personally, that sort of ruined it, because every single time I started to get into this game, it all of a sudden just ended, and I'm just like, oh god damn it, man, I was just having fun. Or it would be the opposite effect, okay? I would be having fun for a while there and be really back and forth, and then it would just get to the tedious point where I'm seeing, I'm just like, oh my god, yeah, they stole another flag, chase them down, kill them, get our flag back, and it just got really annoying. At least when you play a duel match, you know that it's going to go for X amount of time roughly, okay? When you play a Dominion match, once again, you know it's going to go for X amount of time roughly. Even when you get stomped, you know how long it's going to take for you to get stomped roughly. In this game mode, I literally I played about 20-30 games of this through bots and players, and I could never pinpoint when the game was going to end. And then we move on to the fact that as soon as you get 3 flags planted in your base, it's pretty much GG. Because like I said before, everyone just runs back and you have, you know, 3 people, 1 on each shrine, and then you have 1 person going between, and at that point the game is over. There's no way the enemy can stop you from doing anything unless people just basically go AFK or fuck up royally. Because if you have all 3 flags, you know exactly where everyone is, so it's not like they can surprise you. You can see, okay, 3 people people are going over there, and then you just send someone else over there. You got the damage boost, which is pretty damn insane. You also have the defensive boost, which we're going to talk about in a second, and there's no way that they can really kill you, and because you know where they are at all times, it's impossible for them to, like, you know, set up a gank or something and try and kill one person at one shrine and then, you know, steal that flag and bring it back. It just becomes pretty much impossible for you to lose once you have all 3 flags, and that is an issue. And when it comes to the buffs themselves, okay, the damage buff you would go for first every single time, okay? There is no way you'd go for anything else over that. The defensive buff is pretty damn meh. Yes, it gives you a shield, but the shield goes away in pretty much, like, you know, 1 or 2 hits, and then it takes ages to come back. Whereas if you get the damage buff thing, that's pretty much permanently there as long as you got it in your shrine. So they will need to buff the defensive buff quite a bit if they want to make it competitive, because right now it's literally you just go straight for the damage buff. That's the first one you get. The second one you get is the Oracle, so you can see where everyone is, which the Oracle turned out to be a lot more useful than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, being able to see where people are, that's a useful thing, but it ended up being stupidly useful, especially when you could just wait around a corner. You could see the person coming, okay? You just wait for them. As soon as they come around the corner to try and, you know, steal the shrine, you just jump them, and then you already got the leg up, and because you got the damage boost as well, you kick their head in. And then the defensive buff is pretty much the last one you get, because like I said, the shield on it, it's pretty meh, and it's not as useful as the other two. But when it comes to the buffs, there is a clear progression, okay? You go straight for the damage buff, you then go straight for the other buff, which gives you the vision, and then you go for the defensive one later on. And then once you have all 3 buffs, before you know it, in a matter of like 30 seconds to a minute, the game is over, and everyone's just going, oh damn, really, that's it? Overall, it was really fun at the start, running around, picking up the flags. Having that very first fight over the flags is cool, and I love that part. But the problem is that part where it's really fun and cool fighting over the flags does not last long at all, because after that first fight breaks out, okay, the flags are gonna go either way, okay? One maybe to that base, 2 to that base, whatever. But the team that comes out with 2 flags out of the first fight is pretty much the team that's going to win, because like I said, you go for damage, you then go for Oracle, and then at that point you know exactly where they are, and you just defend the flags with your heavies or whoever else you got, and then you send maybe a shinobi or someone to go steal the other flag, and you just put everyone else back on defense, and there's nothing the enemy can do to stop you. So I would like to see them improve that, okay? I want to see more of that initial fight happening all over the map. But the problem with that is it's going to be extremely hard for them to do without making the buffs irrelevant, because like I said, as soon as you get a couple of the buffs, the game's pretty much done. And the reason why that first initial fight is so good is because no one has any buffs at that point, okay? And everyone's sort of trying to fight over these flags, but everyone is still balanced and even. And that is where the inherent flaw with the mode comes in, because the whole mode is focused around those buffs, okay? You got to get those flags, and then you got to stick them in the base to get the buffs. At least in elimination and stuff, the buffs are sort of littered all around the place. It's not the main focus. The main focus is to kill the guys. You use the buffs, okay, to get beefier so you can kill the guys. But the main focus of elimination, for example, is kill the enemy team. The main focus for this one is literally get the buffs and keep the buff. So overall, the mode was fun to begin with, but it wore off pretty damn quickly, okay? And like I said, after about 6 matches or so, I was still playing it. I wasn't really enjoying myself, and I was getting kind of bored towards the end of every match, okay? Because it either, like I said, finished really quick, or it just dragged on for ages. It was very rare to find a match that, you know, had a decent time frame in it. But when this game mode launches, I think everyone's going to jump on. They're going to try it for a little bit, and unless they do something drastic from now until when they release it, I think everyone's going to ditch it after about a week or 2 and just go back to Dominion and stuff. For me personally, Dominion just feels like an overall more structured and more fun match where you get more decent fights and everything is a lot fairer. Even if you end up in a, you know, 1v3 situation, at least it's 1v3 people who are normal and not buffed to high heaven. So we'll have to see if people actually stick with this mode. We'll have to see if people like this mode. Me personally, it was fun to begin with, got pretty boring towards the end. But that is all I have to say, guys. That was my impressions of the tribute mode. Those were some of my concerns and some of the things I found out from playing the mode. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you got to play the tribute mode, what did you think about it, okay? Did you run into some of the same issues I have? And did you find the mode fun and engaging, or did you find it boring after a little bit? I would love to hear your opinion on what you thought if you got to play it. And please share this video around. It helps me out a fuck ton. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys.